Throughout much of the world, there is a new seeking, a new quest for opportunity and security. The people of many countries, including the British Isles, Holland, Denmark, Sweden, Germany, and Poland, are assessing their crowded populations and limited land resources with those of more favorable areas. In Holland, for example, more than 11 million people live in 13,000 square miles. In Canada, 16 million people have more than 4 million square miles to enjoy and develop. This urge for security springs from the need of families in these older countries to find greater independence and living space. In the search, the goals are opportunity, freedom, and security, a place to offer contentment and growth, a land for living. The Land Settlement and Immigration Service of the province of Nova Scotia is designed to help new immigrants to become successfully established on their own farms. Letters of inquiry are received daily from Latvians, Germans, Poles, Lithuanians, Czechs, Dutch, and people of many other nationalities. The services of an interpreter are used when necessary to ensure complete understanding between the prospective immigrant and the province. The agricultural lands of Nova Scotia offer many opportunities. On the 23,000 farms now in operation in the province, extra help is needed to fully realize maximum production, and there is room for new settlers, both as individuals and families. In worthy cases, the Land Settlement Board is prepared to assist immigrants financially where necessary. The Department of Agriculture and Marketing extends service to enable immigrants to become readily assimilated into the rural community life. First and last, Nova Scotia is an agricultural province. Its contour, a gently rolling countryside with fertile valleys that are protected by sheltering hills, provides thousands of acres suitable for field crops and pasture lands. Its climate, tempered by its maritime position, stimulates the lush growth of grasslands, a basic need in livestock husbandry, and, like Holland, its lowlands are diked pasture lands. Its central location, halfway between the equator and the North Pole, places it in the fruit belt and accounts for its well-developed orchards and garden farms. Though maritime by location, agriculture supports a larger population than any other provincial industry. It is an industry which is both specialized and diversified. The famous apple belt of the Annapolis Valley was once a specialized area, but now embraces other branches of farming. Field crops, market gardening, livestock, and poultry raising are some aspects of the farm economy. The immigrant farmer has a wide choice. In Nova Scotia, many new Canadians have already established on their own farms. They are now a part of the community life and enjoy a high regard from their native Canadian neighbors. Although all immigrants to the Canadian provinces are brought in by the Federal Department of Immigration, each province has its separate policy of settlement. In Nova Scotia, it is preferred that an immigrant farmer should be employed for a period, from 1 to 3 years, by a local farmer. This policy allows the new Canadian sufficient time to learn local farming practices, conditions, and customs, time to help himself financially, time to seek out a farmstead suited to his own needs, and time to settle on his own land with a measure of success. Halifax, the capital city of Nova Scotia, is one of the chief ports of entry. Although European cities antedated by many centuries, Halifax has an exciting history of its own. Ever since 1749, when it was founded by Lord Cornwallis as a military post, it has served Canada as a military and naval station. It was the first town in Canada to be settled by the English. The permanently ice-free harbor of Halifax has grown to be the great port that links Canada with Europe. Today, it handles millions of tons of cargo and thousands of passengers and immigrants. Since 1945, more than 1 million people have entered Canada through the port of Halifax. Those immigrants who remain in Nova Scotia without previous contact are assisted by the Canadian Department of Citizenship and Immigration and the Nova Scotia Land Settlement Board to find satisfactory employment. Those who have previously made contact through the Land Settlement Board are welcomed individually by an agricultural representative or the local farmer who has sponsored the family. According to the plan, the local farmer provides accommodation for the family in a suitable house, either on the farm itself or nearby. The house is supplementary to wages. So, from the start, the new families are offered the security of a home and guided towards a settlement that will eventually provide an understanding of the new land and a home of their own. The immediate purchase of farms by immigrants on arrival in Nova Scotia without an adjusting period is discouraged. Land which may look good to the eyes of a stranger may not be suitable to the type of farming which the immigrant wishes to practice. There is much to learn in a new country, among them methods of farming and marketing practices. During these years of adjustment, the children are important people. They help on the farm in the summer months during rush periods, but their greatest value lies in their ability to make the family adjustment easier. Children make friends easier. They learn the language more quickly and become interpreters for their parents. Through their school and community activities, the children become rapidly integrated into all aspects of community life. Through their children, the immigrant barriers of strangeness quickly disappear, and a house becomes a home. A stranger becomes a neighbor. The extension services of the Department of Agriculture and Marketing are offered as guidance by the agricultural representative in each community. The ag rep, who specializes in poultry farming, may make a practice of holding demonstrations on the farms of poultry producers. This will show how to keep flocks in prime condition by culling out weak birds and those which show signs of disease. Their poultry specialists also assist by encouraging better production methods and marketing practices. The extension worker is the link between the farmer and all the services of the Department of Agriculture. If a soil conditioning program is necessary, the immigrant or native farmers are given help and advice in the method used to obtain proper soil samples. The soil is later analyzed for the farmer and a plan worked out with the services of a chemist to correct soil deficiencies. The soil is conditioned for the maximum crop yield. In any land, Good farm management begins with the soil and is followed by crop programming and marketing. Buildings are a part of the farm economy, and many immigrants show interest in the construction of pole barns, now becoming common on Nova Scotian farms. Pole barns are cheaper to erect and more practical for the storage of hay and field crops. Cattle or other livestock can be herded in them at a minimum cost. For the feeding of dairy and beef cattle, the grass, which grows so lavishly on Nova Scotian pasture lands, is ideal. As the most economical source of protein, the grass is cut early and stored in silos to provide cheap summer feed during the winter months. Thousands of tons of this protein-packed grass is stored in silos each year. Packed tightly in trench, open-end, or upright silos, this silage is the most important feature of the new grassland program launched by the Agricultural Extension Services for the benefit of livestock farmers. But silage is only as good as the quality of the grass which makes it. So demonstrations are common in the use of cutting machinery and in testing for grass quality. The livestock economy of Nova Scotia is dependent on grass. Grass for pasture lands and grass for silage. It is a natural crop and needs only to be managed. Most of the activities of young people in rural areas are channeled through 4-H clubs. These are sponsored by the Extension Services. Through such projects as junior calf clubs, pasture fertilization, potato growing, and weed control, young farmers and farmerettes become well informed and capable in farm practices. H clubs train young people for leadership in the many forms of community life. Sing-songs, games, and folk dances are all part of the training. There are seasonal events too, fairs, parades, exhibitions, and festivals. And many new Canadian faces may be seen among the people who gather to watch or participate. The Apple Blossom Festival of the Annapolis Valley, culminating with the crowning of a queen, is a tradition of many years standing. With this and other celebrations and events, the old traditions and new ways of a people are shown to the fledgling Canadian. As an onlooker or participant, understanding comes easier to the immigrant when it is presented as a community or group activity. Everyone loves a fair, and the newcomer is no exception. The demonstration of farm products, the close contact with new neighbors, the universal and unexpected treats and treatment, they are exciting things for a new family, things that will help them work their land and enjoy their leisure. The exhibition of prize livestock is always suspenseful. The pride of the 4-H club members in the calves which they have reared is an understandable thing, showing as it does the outcome of their long days and weeks of personal care and feeding. The demonstrations of modern machinery are perhaps the most exciting events, since these are the shiny evidences of the new world and show the ways and means to security and an easier way of life. Fall exhibitions are exciting and valuable because they are, above all else, a meeting place of new ideas, an exchange for social and practical thoughts, a stimulating interlude in a farmer's busy life. And so, by observation, by entering into the activities and life of the province, by working on the land and seeking new ideas, the new Canadians gain confidence and knowledge. By studying the various localities, they have come to know the type of farm they wish to own and have probably saved part of the purchase price. During this time, the Land Settlement Board has been a friendly ally. Since their chief interest is to see the immigrant and his family well established, every assistance and advice has been given. If an immigrant requires financial assistance in order to settle on his own farm, the board reviews his record. If he is a sound risk, a loan is made to him on a long-term repayment basis at a reasonable interest rate. The board also makes sure that the farm under consideration is productive or can be brought into production and offer a suitable income. When satisfied as to the financial arrangements, the worth of the land, and the stability of the applicant, the board gives its approval to the purchase. Moving day, the day when the Nova Scotia immigrant can move into his own house, into his own home after his adjusting period, is a happy occasion. This is the time for which he worked and studied the ways of his new homeland. The ties with the old country will always remain, as they will be cherished by his children. But this is the opportunity for which the immigrant and his family came to Nova Scotia, and moving day signifies the real start of their new life. The benefits will not be theirs alone, for the community to which they come will gain from the industry and culture which they brought with them. And so, from the lands across many seas, come the men and women who find in Nova Scotia a fruitful land. With natural pasture lands, cold storage facilities for marketing, farm mechanization, and the active support of an understanding government, the newcomer to Nova Scotia farmlands will find possibilities for independence and opportunities for his family. A land for living. In her immigrants lies much of the seed and promise of Nova Scotia's future.